Okay, cool. So if you can just tell us your name
My name is Desiree D'aguiar.
and how old are you?
I'm 27.
So we're just going to start off, if you can describe yourself in 3 words.
Creative, analytical, I don't know, fun.
So why did you want to be a part of this today?
I thought my experience would be a really good one to share with other women. I've been to a couple of events and people have amazing stories, and I thought maybe mine is something that'll reach somebody out there.
Awesome. So what is your number 1 priority in life right now?
Me. That's the truth. Like right now, my priority is ensuring that I'm happy, I'm okay, and all of my dreams that I'd like to have are accomplished.
And what does accomplishment mean to you?
It means being able to be stable, doing something that I love. So that would be designing swimwear, traveling, pretty much anything that my heart desires to do. I want to be able to be stable doing that.
Cool. So I'm going to jump right into it. So what was your childhood like?
It was fun and amazing. My mother was a single mother. There were definitely a lot of male figures in my life, but we moved around a lot to very different locations. Started out downtown, moved to the suburbs, moved to like Mississauga, and then moved back downtown. And a lot of culture shock, but it definitely molded me into the person that I was today. So it was a great childhood, but it wasn't easy.
Okay, so when you say it wasn't easy, what sticks out in your mind that was difficult to deal with growing up?
For me, it was the constant moving. It was an extremely frustrating situation where I wasn't able to really settle down and explore who I was and what I absolutely loved about myself and the surroundings that I was in. It just felt like, okay, in 2 years, I'm not going to be here anyway, so none of this matters. So.
Were there any specific things that happened to you that stick out in your head that you think when you, okay, so you say these experiences shaped who I am, was there anything specific that stuck out in your head, good or bad, that helped you become who you are?
I think it was the ability to spin a lot of what happened in my childhood to make it positive for myself. So the moving, there was a lot of people in my life that I loved a lot that let me down. And
how?
I had a stepfather that was addicted to drugs, and he was like a superhero to me. Like, he was amazing, and when I found that out, it was like my grade 8 graduation, and when I learned of that, it was just like earth-shattering. I don't know, it was something that really stuck out in my life, and it still does today, to this day, but
How did you find out?
it's a really long story, but it was grade 8 graduation. There was an argument that was happening, and essentially my mother let me know what was really going on. And part of me was like, how do you not know? Because a lot of things in our life kind of tumbled down because of his addiction, and I had no idea. But the positive thing out of all of that was years later, I realized regardless of what happened and how that happened in my life, the positive parts of him really molded my life as well. And I still have a relationship with him.
Is he recovered?
Possibly. When I converse with him, whenever I see him, he's clear, he's there, but he was also clear and there in the past as well, so I'm hoping he is.
Have you found that you have struggled with the same kinds of things because that was something that you faced, or was it something like when you did you have to deal with addiction yourself, or was it something that you veered away from because of the situation?
To be honest, because I never knew, it never really affected me. Like, when I found out, I was like, holy. But then, you connect the dots and you're like, now that makes sense and that makes sense. But no, I never had an issue with addiction. If anything, you ask all my friends, they're like, Desiree doesn't smoke, Desiree barely drinks. No, it never really affected me like that to where I veered towards it or away from it severely. I'm just kind of down the middle with it.
How do you feel that other people perceive you around you? How do you feel that you're perceived in the world?
A lot of people say I'm kind of serious. My mother will call me miserable, and that's my mom. She's going to do that. Other people think I'm really happy. I try to be really happy, and other times I'm extremely moody. I mean, I can be a range of things at any given time, just like anybody, I think.
What makes you moody? What makes you feel down?
When I'm really overthinking where I want to be in life. So there'll be times, I remember my friends wanted to go to Montreal, and I'm like, I have bills to pay. I cannot go to Montreal. I definitely did go to Montreal, but even through that, I was thinking to myself, okay, there's so many things that I have to pay for. There's so many things I have to do. There's so many things that are running through my head, and my friends really got my mind off of it, but that's when I get moody. I'm like, no, I know I can't be around people because there's all these other things that I'm thinking about right now. So it can be really frustrating, but kind of gotta get through it and live in the moment.
What makes you happy?
Creating. It's the craziest thing. Like, I'm horrible at math. I'm horrible at certain things, but when I see something and the fact that I can get it out of my head onto paper and then onto a body, that really makes me excited. It really makes me happy when something works. When I see someone wearing my stuff, I'm just like, yes.
So, what do you create?
Swimwear.
Okay, cool.
I make swimwear kind of inspired by art. I just like making women scantily clad.
That's cool. Why? What do you think about that? Like, what do you think about women dressing like that and like everything that's going on today in our culture and society?
Well, my whole brand is women are art. Like, women are pieces of art. So why not make them a masterpiece by putting a painting on them? Why not let them flaunt and feel confident in what they're wearing, however little it is? Swimwear is a very hard thing for someone to choose. Like, even myself, I've gained a bunch of weight and I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot wear that, I cannot wear that. But I know, I can do something for myself or for someone else that can make them feel good. And these days, women are feeling a lot better about themselves regardless of their size. And I think that's amazing to see too.
What makes you feel like you can't wear it?
I'm still getting used to the weight that I've gained. So I'm trying to go to the gym and do all this stuff, and then some days I'm like, no, I look fine. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, no, you look good. You look good, a little chunky. But then I put something on, I'm like, good God, how did this happen? Where did all of this come from? And I'm like, oh, 28. Like, I'm turning 28 this year. I'm just like, okay, it's getting there, We're just trying to get used to things that I never saw before.
It's awesome. I mean, it's like kind of an internal battle that you have, and it could be with weight, it can be with alcohol, it can be with friends, it can be with so many different things. So
yeah,
weight just shows more than other things, right?
Exactly. Like, you can totally get rid of friends, you can get rid of clothing, but like when you take all your clothing off and you're sitting there in the mirror, just like, or the days you're just like, yeah, I can deal with a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
It can be difficult, yeah.
What makes you sad?
Sometimes where I am in life, like, why haven't I got further? What decisions have I made that's gotten me to this point? A lot of that is like, what have I done? What am I doing? Where am I going? I'm single. Like, things like that like, make me sad sometimes, and then other times I'm like, we'll get there. You know, you keep going, we'll get there. I'm single because I don't want to be in a relationship, because I want to get to a certain place. So, yeah.
Cool. That's a good answer. At this point in your life, like right now, not in the past, but in this moment, what do you think holds you back?
Me. At this point right now, the only thing that can hold me back is myself, and maybe insecurities that I have. Maybe.
What are some of your insecurities?
Can I execute? Can I execute well? Like I said, sometimes when you put a swimsuit on somebody, you're just like, is this gonna work? Like, I just get that feeling, is this gonna work? Is it gonna, you know, when you plan a photo shoot, is it gonna work? Is this gonna happen? Am I gonna fail? It could be and pride. I have a lot of ego, I have a lot of pride, and it's good and it's bad, you know? So I think a lot of those things within myself are what's holding me back. It's all the decisions that you make, really.
Do you find that you compare yourself to other people around you, or?
I try not to.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I'm the oldest, though. So.
What's the family dynamic?
Eldest, and then 4 years my younger sister, and then 6 years my youngest brother.
And so do you find yourself comparing yourself to them or to other, like to people around you, or not at all?
I try to remind myself, and I was talking to my sister about this the other day, like everybody has their own lane, and you really need to stay in your own lane. Yeah, it's okay, you might want to veer off one day and think, okay, maybe I can do this. No, stay in your lane and keep going, and you'll get to where you need to be. Because if you compare yourself to other people, you lose focus, because you're like, why am I not there? Like, why haven't I not done that yet? But at the end of the day, all the things that you've been through make you who you are and help you get to your destination. So I try not to compare myself. Everybody has their days where they do. I definitely do. In Instagram culture, you're going to do that a lot, but everybody has their own toolbox of how they get to where they're going. So I try just not to do it.
What makes you feel beautiful?
That is actually a hard question. I don't know, really. Some days it's my eyes. Other days it's my legs. Most days it's my hands, because I really like my nails. But a lot of the times it's my intellect and how I connect with people.
Amazing. That's awesome. I don't think I asked you to. Okay, so you have a swimwear line. Is that all you do, or do you have another job?
No, I have a full-time job.
What is it?
I work in healthcare, and I am like an administrative assistant for a unit dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's residents who are in their 90s. And it's not what I want to do, really. It pays the bills. I love my residents, but it's definitely not where I want to be.
Is there anything you have to deal with being a woman of color at work?
I work with 90-year-old veterans.
So the answer is yes.
Sometimes, sometimes they'll say things to you and you're just like, oh my. But then you do have to keep in mind that it's a completely different generation, and they also have Alzheimer's, so, I just kind of let it go. In terms of anything else though in work, in my work environment, I work with a lot of women, and I do work with a lot of women of color. So sometimes you do have microaggressions from other people and cultures and stuff like that. You kind of just side-eye the situation, and you're like, is this worth my paycheck today? Is this worth going to HR? I've definitely, taken a couple of people aside and I'm like, listen, this is not something we do. But I can't say that I've had a lot of really difficult situations to deal with, mainly because of the type of environment I work in. So other than sometimes the residents coming out of pocket, you kind of let them roll off your back, and other people, sometimes you just remind them that, hey, it's 2017, and we don't do that anymore.
Amazing. Love it. Here's a question that I love. Just have a couple more, okay? How are you feeling?
Okay.
That's a question, actually. How do you feel right now?
Okay. I don't know. Like that first story, I'm just like, oh gosh. If my mother sees this, she's like, Desiree, why do you want to tell everybody business? No. Like, I don't know what that's gonna be.
All the more reason to do it.
Right? I'm like, you know what? I don't really, like, a lot of people don't really know about that, but it's part of my life, so that is what it is. But currently, I feel okay.
Cool. What makes you feel vulnerable?
Letting my walls down.
Specifically?
Like in a relationship, I'm like bricks, metal sheet, like lead sheet, like everything. You're not gonna get past this, and it's been detrimental. But it's just so hard. Like fuckboys are real, and thank God for walls. That like trying to let that wall down, like be vulnerable with someone, tell someone how I feel about something. I'm like, no, there's a reason why I'm not doing this. And sometimes I'm right, and other times I'm like, did I do the wrong thing? Did I miss out on something great? But it's mainly like trying to let that wall down and let somebody in. That's really difficult for me.
And that makes you feel vulnerable?
Yeah, like when someone's like, why can't you let me in? I'm just like, no. And then when I do get vulnerable, I get mad about it. It's like, no, we can't. I can't let anyone make you feel like this. It sucks.
I think a lot of people will really relate to that. I know I do. Would you call yourself confident? If not, what would you call yourself?
I think I'm confident. Case in point, doing this. I don't think a lot of people who don't feel that they're confident will do something like this. I do feel like I'm a confident person. I think I'll keep it at that.
Amazing. I'm sorry, there's just one more question I want to ask you. I have to find it. I think that's it. That was really good. Just to tie it up and kind of wrap it up. What do you think about this experience now that you've answered all the questions?
I think it's a good experience. I do hope that someone learns something or connects to this, or says, or even if like someone calls me out on something I said, like I think it'd be really good to hear feedback from as well. It's kind of scary, and it is a vulnerability as well, so maybe I'm working towards that. So I think it's a good experience.
Thank you, Desiree. You did amazing.